A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z. Hello, welcome. English is a bad language. Let me elaborate on that. You see, the world right now is facing a lot of issues: war, corruption, debt, etc., etc., etc. But there is an issue which we rarely talk about, an issue which often goes unnoticed and flies under the radar. It's an issue which I believe sits at the base of a lot of these problems, an issue that we must talk about. If you're wondering if it's a good issue or a bad issue to have, it's kind of both. It's good and bad. Because you see, we can't really divide the world in good and bad. But that's a different video, I guess. Well, this issue is both good and bad. Whatever it is, this much is certain that it is an issue. It influences everything: sociology, politics, history, culture, art, cinema, morals, principles, philosophy, psychology, medicine, science, linguistics, art, history, anything under the sun. It has an influence on all of these things. It is a fabric on which much of our current reality is etched, embroidered, controlled. If you are wondering what the issue is, you know it already. You read it every day, you listen to it every day, you speak it every day. In fact, you're listening to it right now. That's right, it's the English language. Yes. The English language is a language which is without rhythm, without any sense of music to it. Really. It is a language which is limited in its expression and in its understanding of the reality which we live in. So, if we want to have a society which is developed beyond its current limitations, philosophically, morally, etc., etc., technologically, etc., etc., we have to move to a language which is not English. हमें English के आगे, बहुत आगे जाना होगा. So in today's video, we will explore the difference between English and Sanskrit, which is a far superior language than English, and we will understand the limitations of English language. We will compare the English alphabet with the Sanskrit alphabet and understand why rhythm and how rhythm influences our day-to-day life. So, without any further ado, let's explore this topic in today's episode of Adi and Shravan. This is the basic English alphabet which we all know and love and have learned, right? If you read out the English alphabet, it would sound like A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z. A, E, I, O, U would be the vowels and the rest would be consonants, right? But there is no rhythm when you say out the alphabet. You can say it like A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z. You can say it like that and add a tune to it. But that is a tune which is added. It's not something which is produced when you just say the alphabet. When you say the alphabet, it's just plain. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, and so on and so forth. And that's pretty much it. A, E, I, O, U are the vowels, the rest are the consonants, and the English alphabet has no rhythm. Now let's take a look at the Sanskrit alphabet and see what differences we can find as compared to the English alphabet. Let's now take a look at the Sanskrit alphabet, the Sanskrit Varnamala. As you can already see, it's a lot more complex than the English alphabet. So let's just go over these complexities bit by bit. Okay. First of all, we have here the swaraha or the vowels. A, A, I, U, U, Ri, Ri, Ru, A, I, O, Aha. We then have the Vargiya Vyanjanani or the categorized consonants. Okay, and this is the main part which I really want to focus on. We have the Avargiya Vyanjanani here, which are the uncategorized consonants. Y, R, L, V, Sh, Sh, S, H. But let's take a closer look at the Vargiya Vyanjanani. This is the K Varga, Ch Varga, T Varga, T Varga and P Varga. 5 columns and 5 rows make this a table, a matrix of 25 consonants. And the consonants are K, K, G, G, Ñ, Ch, Ch, J, Z, Ñ, T, Th, D, Dh, Ñ, T, Th, D, Dh, N, P, Ph, B, Bh, M. This is obviously written in the Devanagari script. But as you can already see, the flow of the alphabets, when I say them out loud, has a music to it. It has a rhythm to it. K, K, G, G, Ñ, Ch, Ch, J, Z, Ñ, T, Th, D, Dh, N, T, Th, D, Dh, N, P, Ph, B, Bh, M. It's not only musical, but it is also categorized anatomically. So the K Varga is something that's called the Kanthya. It does not mean the throat in this context, but something just above the throat, where our little tongue, choti jeeb, where we have our little tongue, the thing that dangles on the roof of our mouth, right? That's K, K, G, G, Ñ. And if, so that's the Kanthya. Then you go to up to Murdha. Kanthya, Murdha, Ch, Ch, J, Z, Ñ, Talu, T, Th, D, Dh, N, Danta. This one's pretty simple to explain and easier to explain. Danta means teeth. So your tongue is touching your teeth when you say any of these letters. T, Th, D, Dh, N. Austha, meaning the lips, which is again easy to demonstrate. Your lips are touching when you say any of these consonants. P, P, B, Bh, M. This is the anatomical categorization of these consonants. But there is also a different kind of categorization. If you take the row 1 and 3, these 2 rows are called the Alpa Pranaha, meaning Alpa means less and Pranaha is the life force, in this context, air. Okay, so you need less air to say these consonants. K, G, Ch, J, T, D, T, D, P, B. Less air. In contrast, you need more air to say the consonants in rows 2 and 4, and that is why they are called Mahapranaha. So, you aspirate more. K, G, Ch, Z, T, D, Th, Dh, P, Bh. There is more aspiration. And the last row or the last column is categorized as Anunasika, meaning nasal sounds. Ñ, Ñ, N, N, M. They are all sounds which involve the nose. There's a nasal sound. This is, you can remember it as the Himesh Reshmiya column, I guess. But anyway, this is the categorization of the Sanskrit language. This is the design of the Sanskrit language. It is not only anatomically categorized, but there is also a rhythm to the Sanskrit language, which is the most important part for our video. Rhythm. So, just a quick overview again of the Sanskrit alphabet or the Sanskrit Varnamala. Vargiya Vyanjanani, categorized consonants. Swaraha, vowels. Avargiya Vyanjanani, uncategorized consonants. The Vargiya Vyanjanani, K, K, G, G, Ñ, cho cho jo zonyo, to tho do dhono, to tho do dhono, po pho bo bho mo have a rhythm when you say them out loud. You can hence say that the Sanskrit alphabet is rooted in rhythm. Okay, so now let's just quickly compare the English alphabet and the Sanskrit alphabet and see the differences we can find. So now if you compare the Sanskrit alphabet with the English alphabet, the first difference, like we said, is that the Sanskrit alphabet is rooted in rhythm. Right? Okay, so this has rhythm, while this has no rhythm. This has anatomical categorization. While this has no anatomical categorization. It's just plain monotone. There is not a specific part which produces A, and so on and so forth, right? So there are major differences between the Sanskrit alphabet and the English alphabet. But the main difference that we are focusing on this video is rhythm. Let's understand why rhythm is so important for language and for life. Well, the simple answer why rhythm is important for simple people like you and me is that rhythm makes things simpler. Rhythm gives a certain pace to our life which is easier to follow. For example, when we say that we are doing something well, we say that now I have the rhythm of it, right? This is a sound. This music is a result of a repeated pattern of me clapping, repeated rhythm, and once there is rhythm, there is music automatically, correct? That's the simplest answer I can give you. Rhythm is equal to music. Music is equal to quality of life. Music is equal to exploration. And music and rhythm help us explore the universe in a way which nothing else can do. Because there is music and there is rhythm in everything. There's music in the rainfall, in the waves of an ocean, anything. Okay? But I know and I understand that this might be an answer which is too simplistic for some. For those of you who are looking for a scientific answer, for those of you with a scientific temperament, I think it is better that I give you a very scientific answer, right? So, let's talk about the importance of rhythm scientifically. Let's talk about string theory. So, let's talk about string theory. What string theory essentially tells us is that the universe at a very fundamental level, at a very quantum level, is made up of strings like these, okay? And these strings vibrate at different frequencies to give rise to different elements. For example, let's say these three strings are vibrating at three different frequencies, sa, re, ga. The string which is vibrating at sa would produce oxygen. The string, for example, obviously. String which is vibrating at re would produce nitrogen, and the string which is vibrating at the frequency of ga would produce hydrogen. So different frequencies give rise to different elements. Basically what string theory says is that rhythm makes the universe happen. Rhythm gives rise to literally elements of nature. And this is not me saying it, this is string theory saying it. A theory which has been hypothesized and theorized after spending millions and millions of dollars into research, etc., etc. So, that's the scientific explanation of how there is music and there is rhythm at the very fundamental level of the universe. And if the universe is all about rhythm, then who better understands rhythm than us Indians? Not only in the Sanskrit alphabet, but we look at the universe as the cosmic dance of Nataraj, right? So, let me ask you something. What is more important? Is it important to theoretically understand string theory, which ultimately tells you that the very fundamental fabric of the universe at a very quantum level operates on rhythm? operates on music, operates on different frequencies and vibrations. Is it more important to understand this theoretically, or is it more important to not only understand that the universe is rooted in rhythm, but also apply it into the very foundational block of the first voice which we humans vocalize? Language. The answer is pretty simple for me. It's more important to practice this rhythm in language, because when you practice rhythm in language, the universe reveals itself to you, because the universe is nothing but a poetry. The universe is a cosmic dance, and if you want to understand the steps of this dance, if you want to understand every verse of this universal poetry, you need to understand rhythm. Because if you understand rhythm, you will better understand the universe. And that is why, my friends, the shlokas, the Vedas, the Upanishads, etc., which have been written in the Sanskrit language, have a deeper understanding of the universe than anything that is written in the English language, that is studied in the English language. Because the English language severely lacks an understanding of rhythm. Without rhythm, you cannot understand the universe. And when I say anything that's produced by the English language, it also includes the Western scientific enterprise, which we are now drilled with. We are told that the only way forward is through Western science. We are told that the only way forward is through theories of Newton and Einstein and etc. And no doubt, there is great value in that, great understanding of that, great understanding of the universe of that, in that. That is why we have the world we have around us. That is why I have this camera and this light and the convenience that I live in. There is no doubt about that. But the understanding which comes from English, the understanding which comes from the English language, or a language or an alphabet which is not rooted in rhythm, because this is basically the Latin alphabet, right? An alphabet which is not rooted in rhythm, whose most severe form is the English language, cannot explain to us the universe the same way the Sanskrit language can. That is why I would say that the shlokas are the greatest, and the philosophies that they carry, the Upanishads, the Vedas, etc., and the philosophy that they carry are the greatest scientific achievement of mankind till date. That is why, even after thousands of years, I can still easily recite Aigiri Nandini Nandit Medini Vishwa Vinodini Nandanute Girivara Vindhya Shirodhini Vasini Vishnu Vilasini Jishnunute. There is a rhythm, a flow to everything that's in the Sanskrit language. It's set in meters. Well, I guess you would ask, so what? So what if the Sanskrit language has rhythm and the English language does not? So what if we can understand the universe with the help of the Sanskrit language and not the English language? Who cares? What I care about is my life. What I care about is my job. What I care about is my family, etc. What is any of this knowledge useful? Why is any of this knowledge useful? And that is a fair question. क्या करोगे ये सब जान के? क्या करोगे ब्रह्मांड को जान के? वगैरह वगैरह. That is a fair question. But you have to understand a simple concept that is explored in the Sanskrit ethos. Yata pinde tata brahmande. As is the microcosm, so is the macrocosm. Whatever we have inside us is out there in the universe. We are the universe. And the Sanskrit language and the Sanskrit corpus of knowledge can help us understand more than anything the human mind. And when you understand the human mind, the human body, and the human condition, understanding the universe becomes a byproduct of that process. Because Sanskrit does not tell you, unlike science, that there is no magic in the world. It does not disregard magic or God or divinity. It understands magic. It is magic. So now it's up to you guys. Do you want to focus all your energy on a language that has no rhythm and sacrifice the languages of our ancestors? ऐसी भाषाएं जिसमें काव्य है, जिसमें कविता है, जिसमें ब्रह्मांड का गूढ़ ज्ञान है. The choice is yours. The English language will make you a global resident, but the Sanskrit language will give you knowledge which the English language with the Western scientific enterprise just cannot. मैंने तो अपनी चॉइस बना ली है. इंग्लिश सीखना, इंग्लिश में बात करना सब सही है, but I am not going to sacrifice the language of my ancestors and put the English language on a pedestal it does not deserve. तो दोस्तों, आशा करता हूँ कि आपको मेरा ये वीडियो पसंद आया. अगर आपको वीडियो पसंद आया तो प्लीज़ लाइक कीजिए, शेयर कीजिए, इस पर कमेंट कीजिए, मेरे चैनल को सब्सक्राइब कीजिए और मुझे बताइए कि आपकी लैंग्वेज, टेल मी द लैंग्वेज ऑफ योर एंसेस्टर्स और द लैंग्वेज दैट यू स्पीक, डज इट हैव रिदम. जैसे मराठी मेरी लैंग्वेज है, उसमें डेफिनेटली रिदम है क्योंकि इट इज़ अ डेरिवेशन ऑफ संस्कृत. बट अदर लैंग्वेजेस विच आर नॉट अ डेरिवेशन ऑफ संस्कृत लाइक तमिल एक्सेट्रा, tell me how you find rhythm in Tamil and tell me what rhythm there is in Tamil. I would be very interested to know. So please like, share, comment, subscribe, and until the next video of Adi and Shiva, take care and I will see you in the next one.